Don't mess up my cigar.
Right? You think you can do this in 5 minutes?
I can do almost anything in 5 minutes plus 20. Nice. It's got like a screen thing on here.
Yep. All right.
Nice.
We're gonna go. We're gonna
I like
roll.
that.
Okay. We're rolling. You ready?
Yeah. Let me hang my cigar off the side of the table.
3, 7, 5, 2, 1. Rolling. Okay. So let's talk humidification.
Let's talk humidification.
Let's talk humidor. What's important in a humidor?
Well, a couple things. One, a nice snug fit. You want to kind of get that nice little snug fit.
You can feel when there's almost a little cushion there.
Right. So you definitely want a nice snug fit. Keeping in mind, guys, the outside atmosphere where that room is at, this thing is breathing. This one is actually made of cedar. It is actually a pretty good quality one. About 1/2 inch cedar. Looks like it's even a little bit thicker on the front. But this particular unit, solid top. There are some that have glass. Just keep in mind, outside area impacts what's going on.
And if it has a glass, what can you expect?
Well, you can expect, you have less surface to absorb any humidity. It looks good, but sometimes is also conducive to creating heat.
It's very, very difficult to keep a glass top humidor actually humidified well.
Right.
So if you have a glass top humidor and you're wrestling with it, just go a little bit extra.
Yep.
And
spend a little bit more money.
And what we mean by, yes. So a nicer humidor, if it has a glass top, spend an extra $50 on that glass top humidor because the seal on the glass that's your weakness.
Well, the main source of glass top humidors to the world are the mail order guys that you buy a bundle of cigars for $39 and get a humidor free.
If you get a humidor free,
it's worth exactly what you paid for.
And they got it for the same price they gave it to you for. Let's talk humidification and what can you use as a part of humidity?
This is what comes in it. This one actually has the beads inside of it. It's kind of interesting. But it's got these little silica beads that will absorb and expand and create a little bit of humidification. The one concern with this type of mounted unit, some of them have, this one has beads. Most of them have that green foam material that they stick flowers in when you get a flower arrangement. It just holds water for a short period of time. It really has no control over the amount of humidity it's putting in the cabinet. You have to monitor that.
Which brings us to these. These are not microwave popcorn. They are Bovada packs. And what I like about them is they tell you when they need to be changed. Whereas this is like VCR, right? We're past a VCR technology.
Yep.
This gives you a pillow and this little bit of fluid that's in there. And when it dries out, you can feel it, so you take it out and you put a new one in.
But the biggest key to this is two-way humidification. So, 65% humidity bag. You put 2 or 3 of these inside of a humidor about this size. They're about $4. If the humidor is less than 65% humidity, it will pull it up. If it gets to 70% humidity, it leaves lid open, it's hot outside, whatever, it will pull humidity down. So it's two-way humidification. Don't put a 65 and a 72 and a 75 inside there because they fight with each other. Use 3 or 4 of the same bags.
And also, when we were saying use more than less, if you have a glass top, I usually use a 72%. That's where I go to because I have an acrylic, that is the future. But if I'm to use something that's a little bit more old school or not quite as nice, I'm going 75% because I'm going to shoot ahead and a little bit above and know that acclimation is not quite as strong.
This is about a 100 count humidor, 75 to 100 count humidor. If you're going to use cedar, the key to having success with a cedar humidor is to keep the humidor about 50% full. That gives you a fair shot at your cigars winning or at least tying in the battle for the fight over humidity. Because the cedar, the surface area that's exposed by cedar, is trying to get humidity, so it'll stay damp. Well, not necessarily damp, but saturated with the humidity to hold all the humidity in. the surface of the cigars themselves, if it's half full, it's kind of a fair battle. There, you have an equal amount of the area filled with cigars as you do surface area exposed. If you have 6 cigars inside of this thing, you have all of that cedar that's sucking all of the life out of these bags. And when these dry out and you didn't pay attention, it's going after the next source, which is whatever humidity's in those cigars. So you talked about next level humidors.
Yep, that's right. What are we looking at over here? We got 30 seconds.
We're good.
We're good over here. Any questions?
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's what I'm curious about. Next level for the last 30 seconds is an acrylic humidor. Acrylic humidors, come to find out, don't ship well, so come get them in the store. But what it does is it gives you a dead surface so that cedar is not always pulling for the humidification of your cigars, and it keeps it in a nice dead space. I've had the same 72% packs. I have 3 of these in it. It's about the same size since last September. They are the future.
Because the only thing that's getting humidity is the cigar. One of the things that Larry Adams brought up, two things. One is miserable. One, it's snowing in Missouri. That's no good. Number 2, will the green foam create mold? I have had mold with those, but there's one reason for that. And this is a side note, particularly for those of you that are using airtight coolers or are using like Tupperware. It's important that you open that and get new air into that box. If that air is in a static enclosure and it's not moving and there's no additional air that's coming in, then that will contribute to mold. So to answer your question, Larry, yes, it will contract mold, but there's a bigger issue. The issue is you're not getting into the humidor enough to get cigars out. You're just leaving that stock standard air in there and not letting it move around.
That's what you need to know about humidification. Coming up next, we are going to hop into the parts of the cigar.